Good morning students. Myself Arshdeep Kaur, a member of Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota. Students, today we are here to start the revision of your poetry section. Today we would be dealing with some of the poems from your book Beehive. So I request you all that open your book Beehive for the better understanding of the text and come to the poetry The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. The Road Not Taken is a very famous poetry which have been narrated by Robert Frost. In this poem, basically the poet wants to give you a message that how the poet is connecting the two ways with the life of a human. The person has two choices in front of him wherever he goes. But the moment you choose any one of the roads or any one of the options, you become very much firm with it. And we have to travel on that particular road only. This diverging point comes in everyone's life where he or she has to take a decision that which road he or she might opt for. They all know that they would never come back to the another road to travel the other path. That same divergent point could never come. Once you have made the choice, you have to move with that. The poet is trying to make a connection between the two paths and choices in life. So let us begin with the poem. The speaker is a bold and courageous person. He has reached a turning point where he has to take a decision. The speaker, the poet, he is a very courageous person and now he is standing on that edge of the life where he has to make a decision. He is having two ways in front of him. It has been denoted that he is standing at the yellow forest and now he has to choose that which road he should travel for. Basically, the poet is trying to make a decision in his life that which way he should opt for. There are two paths before him. He is standing at a divergent point and there are two leading paths, one path and another path that he has to choose in between from it, that which way he or she might opt for. Now at this divergent point, the poet wants you to make a connection that whenever we stand at a point where we have to take a decision, we analyze a lot of situations in our life. We think that where this path will lead us to, how many persons have gone through the same path, where they have reached in their life and many more things. Similarly, the poet also thinks. He is looking at the two roads in a very keen manner. He is observing that one road is the one which have been travelled a lot. Many of the peoples might have gone from that road. They have opted that road, but another road is less travelled. There are very less people, those who have travelled from that particular road. So the poet is now in the face of dilemma that which road he should opt for, which road will take him to his destiny. If he takes a decision and goes forward, he is unable to come back and change his decision. Now poet is thinking, looking at the two roads, he thinks that many of the first road, he is thinking many of the persons have gone from here, they have reached to a path, but why this road is less travelled? I'll opt for this road, this path. Why? Because he thinks that this path will make him go to a curious way. It will lead to many of the new changes in his life. It will make him go somewhere where others have not reached yet. It often happens in life that we are on a part of decision making and we take a decision in which others have taken the same decision. We go in that way only in which others have gone. If you want to opt for something like for a subject in your after your 10th, your sister, elder sister, brother, cousins, what they have opted, we just take a look and what they have become in their lives. Similarly, the poet is also seeing the path, and he realizes that in this path many persons have gone. So I'll not opt for this, I'll opt a less traveled road. Now he's thinking, he's in a dilemma that okay, I'll take this road, I'll go from this road and I'll reach somewhere in life where others have not yet reached because it is less traveled road. But at the same time he thinks that the decision that he has taken to go forward on that particular path, he will never be able to come back on the first road. Now he is standing at this diverge point, he opted he'll go from this path. This is life. You are standing here, you opted that you will take this decision. Can you reverse back your decision and come to the same point and think that I'll go from this road also? I'll change my decision and see that how things are. It is not possible. Why? Because time has gone. Similarly, if the poet has gone from this path, he thinks that one day he will come back and he will take the another road and he will see where do he reaches. But in his inner conscious, he realizes that this is not possible. I cannot come back. I would never be able to come back to the same point and to take the another road and let us see that where this path will make me lead to. Because once you have made decisions in your life, most of the decisions are irreversible and you cannot come to that same point at that point where you were having the decision in your hand which way to go. One way is decided, now you have to go with that. So the poet is making him console by saying that okay, one day I'll come here and I'll take this path. But somewhere he remembers that he could never come back and travel the another road once again. He keeps the another path reserved for the next occasion. Now he thinks okay that today I will go from this road which is less traveled, and the next occasion, next time when I'll come here at the same position, I'll opt for this road. Now one road leads to another road, leads to another road. Similarly, the poet wants you to understand that in life if you take any decision, one decision will make you lead to another decision, then to another decision, and coming back to the same decision is not possible. So there we have to think that whatever decision we are taking, but in order to console himself, poet says that okay, whatever path we are choosing, we'll keep the another path for the next occasion. For the next time, I'll come here on the same urge, on the same area, and I would choose the another path and go from that particular path to a particular place. Now this is a dilemma that he is going through, what to opt, where to go, and poet wants you to connect this from your life. That whenever you opt for a decision, we make ourselves very much comfortable with it, and then we think that okay, if I get another chance in my life, I will definitely opt for that decision. But somewhere in the inner conscious, we know that one path leads to another path and then another way, and it is never that we will come on the same situation. He thinks that one day he will be in a position to tell the story of his decision. Now poet thinks that one day in life it would be that I would be justifying my decision and I would be able to tell that the way I chose for myself was correct or not. Right now he is standing at the urge, he is thinking where to go, which way to go, and where to, means he will reach a destination after traveling this particular road. After a few years, when he will analyze that the path that he has chosen, he will come to know that where he has reached, the destiny would be there. So he would be able to make the decision that whether it was correct or not. And at that particular time, he would be able to narrate and tell that the decision that he took by choosing that particular path was correct or not. So poet wants you to analyze that once you have chosen a path, you walk on it, you reach your destiny, and after that you come to a position where you could analyze very well that the path chosen by you was correct or not. So that is the particular aim of the poet, that he wants you to understand that whenever you take a decision, how things happens with you, and after a certain time we could conclude that whether the decision was correct or not. I hope you have understood this particular poem. We will move towards the internal questions of it. So students, let us start with that. Read the following extract and answer the following questions. Oh, I kept the first road for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. Now this extract, let us see that what the poet, we are asking the question. In the above lines, what does the poet say for the another day? Now in those lines, what does the poet is saving for the another day? In the above lines, the poet saves the first road for the another day. Now poet has chosen the second road, which was less travelled, and what did he kept for the next day, means next occasion. He kept the first road, that whenever he will come back to that same position, to same earth, same day, same place, so he will choose the first road. Right now he is travelling from the second road, which is less travelled. What fact does the poet know? He knows the fact that one way leads to another way, and coming back is impossible. Now poet is making him console that okay, I am choosing this way, but inside he knows that fact, that if I have chosen this second path, this path will make me go to another path, and this path will another. So one path is connected with another and another. So the dream that he is thinking that he will come back on some another occasion to the same position is impossible. What does the poet mean by the words, I should never come back? The poet means that he is enough doubtful of returning and walking on the first road. Now the poet is saying that he is really doubtful that whether he would be able to come back and return and walk on the first road. So this is the doubt, the dilemma that he is going through. Now students, we would be seeing some book questions and we would be discussing important questions from it. Students, let us discuss the important questions from your scan data or your book exercises of the first poem, that is The Road Not Taken. Discuss what these phrases mean to you. A yellow wood. A yellow wood is basically used that the forest is going through the autumn season. Autumn season, you all know that trees are in the urge of getting the new leaves and the old leaves shed down. So the whole road has been covered by the dry leaves and they are considered as a yellow wood. Wood stands for forest and yellow basically symbolizes your autumn season. The next question. It was grassy and wanted where? Now the second road has been discussed, that the road over there, it was full of grass. None of them have walked from the road. It has been smooth road. No worn outs were there because people have less travelled from that particular road, the second road. None of them go from that road. What happens? You might be saying that if a road is too much travelled, then these leaves, grass is not found there. But on the road which is less travelled, over there leaves, grasses have been found. Leaves no step had trodden black. So this basically means less stepping. When a leaf is there, a dry leaf, and if we step on it and if we move, if people are moving from there and leaves are being spread on the road, so what will happen? It will become trodden black and it symbolizes that the path is less used. It is not being travelled by much of the people. Next question, that is, how ways leads on to way, means how one way connects to the another way. This phrase basically means that there are certain decisions that a person make in life, and when you make that particular decision, from that decision we have another decision attached, and we have to move on with that particular path only. One path is attached with another path and so on. The passing there basically means what? It has been discussed. This phrase basically means that the travelers travel through the forest. The passing there, that means the travelers, those who were moving from the one place to another. Is there any difference between the two roads as the poet describes them? In stanza 2 and stanza 3. Now in stanza 2 the poet explains that only difference between the two roads that have been taken is that it was covered with the grass, it was having yellow leaves, and it was less travelled by the people. And in stanza 3 the poet says that both the roads were equally covered with leaves, no persons have stepped on them, none of them have moved from that road. In the last two lines of the poem, so what's the difference between that? Let us see. In the last two lines of the poem, poet says there is a difference between the two roads because he took the road that was less travelled by the people and made all indifference to his journey. So he took the road, he has made the decision, he would be travelling that road, and this decision will make a difference in his life. It will change his life in some way or the other. Okay students, so now let us begin with the next poem of your book Beehive Only. The name of the poem is Rain on the Roof, written by Coates Kenny. In this poem, basically the theme of the poem is that poet wants you to connect that how the little things also in life could make you realize, remember some of the memories. A very beautiful thing has been told, and by the medium of that the poet wants you to explain that memories could make you hit at any point of time. Poet has used rain, and he has personified rain in a very beautiful manner, that when rain comes, what all things comes into poet's mind, what all are the things that he do remember when a rain comes and he is lying on his bed and listening to the patter of the rain. So now let us see that what the poet wants us to understand by this. The poet is lying in his bed. The poet is lying, he is lying on a bed with his cushion in the cottage. He is taking rest over there, and suddenly it starts raining lightly. When he is lying on the bed, he hears the patter, that means the sound of the rain. It's raining outside, the rain is coming where the rain is coming on the roof, and the poet is able to hear the noise of the rain. From where? From the roof. On the roof the rain is coming and the patter of the rain is heard by the poet. The moment the poet heard that patter of the rain, the sound of the rain, the poet just clutches his pillow. He just feels relaxed by listening to the sound of the rain. He realizes many things. Many thoughts are fumbling around his mind, and he is thinking that many memories are coming to his mind, and he would be discussing those memories. Let us see. The rain on the roof creates beautiful sound. They echoed in the heart of the poet. So the rain is coming out, it's beautifully raining outside, and poet is just remembering many thoughts are coming. The patter of the rain that is being heard over there makes the poet realizes the losses that he has gone through from his life. The memories of his loved ones conquered his mind. He realizes that how his mother's face used to look like. The mother, that poet's mother is no more. Poet's siblings, that means brother and sister, they have also traveled to the land of angels. And now with the sound of the rain, the poet is basically memorizing all such things. The memory of the beautiful mother comes into his heart, and there is an echo in his heart. He is remembering that how beautifully she used to love him. Whenever he used to feel low, the poet's mother used to call of him and make him relax. So poet is remembering the beautiful moments of his life that he has spent with his family, which is no more. He is lying in the cottage bed and he is remembering such things. He remembered a number of things. The mother's beautiful face. Then he remembers his siblings, that means brother and sisters. Those are no more with him. The people are no more. But poet believed that they have traveled to the land of angels. Over there, they might all be very much happy. Poet remembers that how he used to spend time with his brother and sister, and they all used to enjoy it. So poet is just remembering he's recollecting all the facts. In his memory, all those facts have been gone in the back-end memory. Because in everyday life, poet has moved on and has learned how to deal with the situations. But right now, the poet is thinking that how he is memorizing all the things. The sound of rain appears to be a bliss to the poet. So the poet thinks that this sound of rain, which is hearing like he is lying in the cottage, on the cottage roof the rain is coming, and the sound that is created by the rain makes him feel like a bliss. He is feeling wonderful. He is memorizing all the things that he has gone through from his life. He is able to connect that how a particular thing could conquer his mind. All those things, all those memories have faded out. Why, children? Because in the everyday's life, poet has also learned to move on. And similarly, the bliss of this sound of rain have made him come back to the same memories. He is able to remember his family, and this shows a very beautiful connection with the rain and the poet. Now we will be discussing some of the internal questions of the poetry. Read the following extract and answer the following questions. Now in memory comes my mother, as she is used in years gone, to regard the darling dreamers, ere she felt them till the dawn. Now in this poet, the poet is memorizing the mother, the face of his mother, that how beautiful she used to look like. The darling dreamers, who are they? We would be discussing. And the ere she felt them till the dawn. She knew that she would be going. She would not be there till the dawn. So poet is remembering all the talks that were there in his childhood. Let us see the first question. What memory comes to the poet's mind? The memory of his mother's face, as she used to look at him, comes to the poet's mind. As I already told you, that poet was remembering that how beautifully his mother used to love him. Whenever he feel low, the mother used to pamper him, look at him with a smiling face, and all things used to be okay. So that is the memory that is coming to the poet's mind. Who are the darling dreamers in the extract? Darling dreamers in the extract are the poet's siblings, that is, brothers and sisters. So in this extract, the darling dreamers basically means the poet's brother and sister. We are talking about them, we are symbolizing them. What does the poet mean by the words, she left them till the dawn? The poet means that the mother knows she would not see them till the next morning. Now, poet means to say that the mother said that she left them till the dawn. Mother was knowing that she would no more with them till the next morning, so mother made him realize that fact, and poet is remembering it. Now we would be discussing some of the important questions from your scan data. Students, let us discuss the important questions of your poetry number 3, that is Rain on the Roof. What does the poet like to do when it rains? So as I have already told you that poet feels really very much delighted and he feels too good lying on his bed against his pillow in the cottage, and he is enjoying the patter of the rain, the soft rain. So he likes to be alone at that time on his bed with his pillow and memorizing his beautiful memories. Next question, what is the single major memory that comes to the poet? Who are the darling dreamers he referred to? So it has been constantly repeated in the poem that there is a very beautiful memory that conquers the mind of the poet again and again. So what is that beautiful memory? You all might be knowing, that is the face of the mother and her fond look, the beautiful smile of her. So that was a memory that conquered the mind of the poet again and again. In the next part of the question, they have asked you who are the ones those who are considered to be the darling dreamers. So darling dreamers over here refer to the poet's siblings. Those means the brothers and the sister in the childhood when they are lovingly putting to their sleep by the mother. So their dreams are considered to be darling ones because they beautifully go for a sleep with the mothers. So the siblings, the brother and sister have been considered as your darling dreamers.